Good morning. Thank you guys, like Amy said, for you guys being here. It's been a while. A lot's happened since we've last seen you guys, but felt like we had a really good spring. Very intentional on what we wanted to accomplish, and we pretty much accomplished what we wanted to. Just want to commend my staff. I really feel like I have the best staff in the country. They're diligent. In these crazy times, changing times of college athletics, they've done a tremendous job of adapting, and especially then you add the fact that we had change in leadership, and this time of the year or even in the spring, I feel like this is when you can win or lose ball games in December or January or February, and they work their butts off, just trying to understand the landscape. Conquering it. We got some really good players in here. They really can come in and really help what we want to accomplish. So they complement these two young ladies to my left and right. And so not only are they great players, but they're great people. And they do a lot of great things for our program. So we're excited. We've had 2 weeks of workouts. Everyone's gelling well together. People have come back very hungry. We've had freshmen who come in and giving us a little bit of an energy boost with their enthusiasm, their youthfulness. But it's a great combination with the older players and experienced players. So we're looking forward to a lot of great things. We have to put it all together because I think we're a really good team on paper, but we really got to put it together, which you always have to do. But I'm excited about the possibilities, and we look forward to a great year.
We'll start with Caroline.
Caroline Mikowskis, Lexington Herald Leader. This one is for you, Coach. In terms of roster construction, what did you and your staff prioritize based on things you learned in the first two seasons?
Yeah, we everyone has to have a purpose, a role. We don't want to just stack talented players together and they don't fit. We look for what our needs are, and obviously we feel like we have a great combination of, we feel like she's the best center in the country. We have one of the best shooters in the country, and we wanted to make sure that we surrounded both of them with players with experience, but also a skill set that would complement our existing players. That was very, very important, especially to open up things for Clara inside. Last year we had to adapt a lot, and again, we had 4 kids get drafted to the WNBA, but their strength was not shooting. So a lot of times she was bombarded, she was crowded, she was double teamed. Didn't have a whole lot of space to work. That was why Asia was able to solidify a starting spot last year. She really opened up things right from the beginning of the basketball game, which really helped us. So we were very intentional in trying to go out and find players that really help complement them. And we probably have the best shooting team that I've ever had. And that kind of goes to, it's interesting to say because I think we broke records the last couple of years of three-pointers made, attempted. But this year's group is probably the best three-point shooting team that we've had. So now we think it's going to be very difficult for them to really crowd Clara's space, and she's going to have more room to operate. And then we wanted to make sure that they were kids that were going to represent the university, our program, exceptionally well, and they've been phenomenal so far. So we're excited about that.
Coach, Zach Gagan with Kentucky Sports Radio. Just your 3 incoming freshmen, your McDonald's All-Americans, just what are your expectations for them in year one, and do you see them making an immediate impact role from the jump?
They're all 3 extremely talented. They're all 3 extremely competitive. They're like perfectionists. And to be honest with you, they're well beyond their years. They come in and they can do things that I really haven't seen freshmen be able to do, but they're freshmen. And what we were able to do in solidifying some players with experience, we don't have to throw them into the fire. Now, they will get thrown into the fire, but we're also in win-now mode. And when you go out and you get a player like Diana Collins, who's had tremendous experience in the SEC and the Big Ten, Miara O'Neal, who's had great experience in the SEC, Ayanna Patterson, who has played at a very high level and been coached by one of the best coaches ever. That's going to allow you to go out and compete and to win now. And then when they're freshmen, they come along, they're going to get their opportunity, but you don't have to just depend on every mistake or good play that they make. But I think that they're going to find their way. They're all talented. They all shoot the basketball well. They all have great experience. And I look forward to them, finding their way, and they will compete, and they will contribute a lot for us this year.
Go ahead, Brad, and over back.
Brad Harvey with the College Sportscast. This is for both girls, Asia and Clara. What have you guys been working on the most in the off season?
These last 2 weeks we've just been doing individuals, and then we just started introducing each other to working out in groups. It's been really good. We've just been working on what we need to work on to get better for this next season, what we lacked last year individually, and working out in a group. It's been really good. We're just getting the chemistry down, just getting to know each other better on the court, and it's just been really good. So we're just kind of getting in the groove of working as a team and just getting to know each other not only off the court but on.
Yeah, like she said, we're building our chemistry. We've been getting faster, stronger, things like that. She said we've been doing a lot of individual work. Completing our games, getting ready. So, like Coach Brooks and everyone can see what everyone can bring to the table. So then when we do come together and we start our practices and stuff, I think we'll be ready. And I'm super excited for it because I've learned a lot about these girls we have so far. A lot of energy, very outgoing, a lot more outgoing. So I love them all, and I'm excited to start.
More outgoing, yeah.
Jordan.
Coach, going to piggyback back to the freshmen. You had a lot of one and dones in your 2 years here, them leaving to the portal. I think Lexi's the only person to stay for 2 seasons coming out of high school. Why do you think that is, and why will that change with the 3 incoming freshmen you have now?
If I knew what the reason was, or to be able to stop it or whatever, I probably wouldn't have to coach. I could make a lot of money doing something else, being a consultant. But it's just the time. It's just the time. And you look at their situation, each and every one. You can date back to Clara Silva, who had a really good year at TCU, but her situation was she's playing behind Clara Strack. So she wanted an opportunity to play. You look at Lexi Blue, loved Lexi, and just wanted an opportunity to play. And obviously, players have come in and stepped in and really fit our system well, and we recruited well. So it's just until there are rule changes and everyone has the opportunity to the freedom of movement, they're going to exercise it, and you can't stop them from doing so. The people I feel sorry for are the fans, because fans, especially our sport, they watch, these kids come in as freshmen and they watch them matriculate into seniors, and I've had front row seat with Clara Strack, and I promise you she's a lot different as a senior than she was as a freshman, and I got to watch her do that. I get to see it, and fans deserve that, but just the landscape of what things are, you can't stop a kid from chasing their dream. They want to play. They have the freedom of movement, so they do that. So it's all you can do is go out there and be the best that you possibly can be as a team. We've had 2 successful years, especially for our first 2 years here. And so, if someone decides they want to go somewhere else, you hug them and you say, thank you for your contributions, good luck. I'll root for you, except for if you play against Kentucky. Mm-hmm. And then we move on and we find players who really want to be here.
Sierra.
Sierra Newton, LAX 18. Asia, will you just talk about how you've already seen yourself grow from the end of last season and where you would like to see your growth continue going into this one?
Good question. Last year was a little bit rough because I was coming out of an injury, so I had to get into the groove of coming from Conference USA to SEC, and it was a bit difficult, literally about everything, the speed, the competition, the physicality. But I had a great system behind me. The girls, the coaches, they just kept picking me up on days that I just was really hard on myself. And I started to get into the groove of it. I just kept repping. I did extra on the side, outside of the team practices and the conditioning. And I just kept getting into it. And then once I started basketball, I basically was just taking it one day at a time. I was trying to learn from my mistakes, Coach Brooks in my ear, Coach C in my ear, and I just try to be intentional every day about what I need to work on. And I'm trying to do the same thing this year, when which was basically trying to make a move off my shot, because not a lot of people knew who I was last year, but now they know. And Coach Brooks is always telling me that, so I kind of have to work on my game and try to get my shot off better this year, because they know who I am now.
Great.
Yeah, Coach, I know Sivka, I believe that's how you say her last name.
Sivka.
Just arrived on campus last week. I'm just curious what the process of identifying her was, if there was any troubles getting her cleared to come over here, the whole WNBA angle of it. Just what was it like recruiting her and then finally getting her on campus?
Like no other. And obviously, again, so many things are changing. And again, I go back to my staff. They do a tremendous job. Coach Rad was the one that recruited her. And, it was kind of, you never know what experiences are going to help you in different experiences. And one of her family friends brought their child to watch us play a game this year. And they stayed a couple days and they watched us, how we worked out Clara, how we did, a lot of different things. And when it came down to a decision where she wanted to go to college, he was her family friend. And he saw what we did, how we did it. I was very impressed. Recommended, for her to take a look at us, along with some other schools. And, we jumped on a Zoom as soon as we could. We had a great conversation with her, just talked about, our vision and what was going to happen. We did check into the whole situation with the WNBA, and it is unique. And women's basketball is a little bit different because she didn't declare for the draft. She just got drafted, and that was the big reason that she's capable of coming. Now we still have to dot some I's, cross some T's with the NCAA clearing. But after the Zoom, it was a couple weeks, and she called back and she said this is where she wanted to be. We kept it for a long time, before we actually announced it, which was very hard. It was like kind of getting a Christmas present in November, and you can't open it until December 25th. But, she's a tremendous young lady. She's very excited to be here. I think she fits exactly how we want to play. And obviously, Amelia Hassett is irreplaceable, but she kind of fills that role and what she'll be able to do for us. Very experienced, very mature. We're still waiting on documentation and whatnot, what year she is, for those situations. But she's not a freshman. We may have to list her as a freshman, but she's not. She's actually older, or maybe 3 days younger than Clara. So, yeah. So, but we're just glad to have her now. And then she's been here, and she's been a tremendous asset to us. And I think her leadership, her experience is going to bode well for us.
This could be for all of you, actually. The girls, you're heading into your 4th year. The NCAA is doing a new rule, 5 for 5. I just want to know from each of you what your perspective is heading into this year, and for Coach, just overall for the team.
Like Coach Brooks said, everything's changing. So obviously that's something that I think people saw coming. But yeah, now that it's finally passed, I think it's obviously a huge change. It's kind of crazy. But it definitely gives people options. And I think that's a good thing, to have that option. Yeah.
That was an inside joke.
Honestly, I'm not really worried about it. Yeah, it's really, like Clara said, it opens up options for people. But for me personally, this is my home. I love it here. I'm happy. But I'm honestly just focused on this next year, my senior year, with the girls that I am playing with now. And this is such a special group that I really want to take into account. Last year was very special as well. So I'm just trying to be present on the moments and everything that I can create with these girls in this next group that I have. Yeah, this is my last year, my senior year, and it could be my next.
Yeah.
Because I got that option, but I'm not worried about it. Sorry.
What will they call the fifth year people? Would it be a
Yeah, what would
super
it be?
senior?
Super senior.
Yeah, super senior, kind of like COVID. During COVID. Yeah. No, it's a. I mean, obviously, again, I referenced it earlier. Ever changing landscape in college athletics, and you just have to be ready to adapt. And it used to be, 10 years ago, somebody would call and they say, well, what do you need for the 27 class? And I could tell you we needed 2 players, we needed 3 players, this and that. Now when they call and they say, what do you need for the 27 class? I say, I'll let you know in 27. You know, we might need 15. I don't know. And so I think you just really have to focus on the now. You really do. You have to focus on the now. And if you take care of business, then everything will work out for later. And with these young ladies, we've talked about it a little bit just to explain it to them what's actually happening. But we haven't talked about their individual situation. You know, Clara has an opportunity to be one of the highest draft picks, you know, for next year. And she and I just sat down and talked. And we said, hey, look, let's just go out and have a great year this year and see where the chips lay. And you know, you do have an opportunity. You have the option if you do want to come back, but you also have the option to turn pro. And let's just worry about it when it happens. Asia, in her situation, you know, if you had asked her last year, she had no aspiration to go play pro. You know, now she's talking about being a professional, you know, what she has to do so she could possibly take that 5th year and do it. Right now she's studying to be a pilot. And actually, that's a really cool story, so you guys should jump on that. She's actually flying planes, right? Mm-hmm. She's asked me to go up with her. I'm like, heck no. Look, I know I tell you to box out sometimes, and you don't box out. You make a mistake, so I don't want you to make that mistake up in the air. I think some other coaches have agreed to go up with you, right?
Yeah, Coach C, Coach Josh.
I'm trying to go.
Clara. Yeah.
No.
Everybody down the list except him.
Yeah.
So it's okay.
I still love her. I love her to death. I trust her. But I think Cammie pitched it to me. You know, it would be a great story if for SEC Media Day if she flew you guys to Alabama. I'm like, hell no. I'm like, I am not doing that. I'm not doing that. I would have a panic attack. But you know, but it is. It's an opportunity for these for the young people to extend their careers, to play. It's going to be an adjustment for everybody. Again, the freedom of movement, you know, it's probably going to have, you know, have a impact on it as well. But it is what it is, and you have to learn to adjust to it. And you look at our roster this year, and everyone has the option to come back, you know. And then sometimes you look at it like you're an NBA team. You don't know if you'll be able to bring them all back. You know, and that's just the reality of what we're dealing with. But you have to live for today and take care of today, and then see what happens tomorrow.
As Dick Gabriel, Big Blue Insider. Clara, Coach referred to needing to get some outside shooters to relieve some of the pressure on you in the middle. You got banged around, especially when Tiani was out last year. What's your off-season been like in terms of your conditioning and things like that to prepare for what you know lies ahead physically this coming season? Did you change anything, or same as usual?
Yeah, I mean, just continue to get stronger, continue to get like faster, like agile, things like that. But I mean, I wouldn't really say I changed anything, but I think it's a process, like over years, like to get stronger, to get older, to get stronger. Because I mean, I've been young, but not anymore. So continue to get stronger.
Do you feel like you are stronger?
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah.
Carolina Keith.
Coach, will you talk a little bit about the process and decision of bringing on Ayanna Patterson? Obviously, she was what, top 5 prospect, McDonald's All-American, UConn. You already talked about Oriema, but you know the natural comparison there is, hey, this is a previous top 10 recruit who has had a lot of injuries, hasn't really performed. You know, people are thinking Tiani, right? What do you see in Ayanna Patterson, and what gives you confidence that she can make her own spot here at Kentucky?
First and foremost, she's a great kid, you know, great person, great personality, probably has one of the most beautiful smiles you ever see. She comes into her room and she just smiles and lights it up. And, you know, we looked at her situation, and again, this is the freedom of movement. There's nothing that was wrong at UConn. She just wanted an opportunity to play. And her situation is similar to Tiani's, where she went to a situation where she was highly ranked, had an injury early, kind of derailed her progress, sat behind some really good players, and then now just wants a fresh start. And her coming in, we were very excited about her athleticism, her ability to guard multiple players. You know, she can guard perimeter, she can guard inside. Still working on some things on the offensive end. She's probably, if it was a football team, she would be classified as an athlete. So I don't know what position she is. I just know she's an athlete, and we'll be able to utilize her abilities in a lot of different ways. But she's a great fit. Like I said, it was very intentional. We probably looked at some players that had better numbers than what she did, but she has championship pedigree. She comes in. She's been coached extremely well. Gino is my favorite coach out there. Respect him, and he's the GOAT for me. And I thought, well, hell, I'm crazy, but if she can handle him, I know she can handle me. And but she's also going to be able to just spread some of that knowledge that she's had, playing with great players, but also in big games and doing some wonderful things. So I think she's going to benefit us very well, and we're excited for her to be able to showcase what she can do.
Keith Farmer from LEX18 and BBN tonight. I was just curious, I know it's early, but Clara and then Asia, is there something that, I know you mentioned how outgoing they are, but something on the court that has stood out either individually from the portal freshmen or, something that stands out to you individually or as a group?
Yeah, I mean, I think like I said, a lot of energy, a lot of enthusiasm, excitement for this season to start. And I mean, everyone works really hard. Like, I've seen it already. Nobody's like trailing behind. Nobody's like not working hard. I mean, the freshmen, I see them in the gym every single day, like Sunday through Saturday. Every single day working out. I mean, they're just so excited, and they're so excited to be able to show, I think, everyone what they can do. And then the transfers too, like, it's just an incredible environment to be in. It's loud, everyone's happy to be here, so it's exciting.
Piggybacking off of her, I think we just have a really good diverse team when it comes to a good balance of having young people and people with experience. We do have a lot more young people this year than we did last year. We were a very old group last year. We only really had 2 freshmen, and one of them she was a freshman. Let me just say that. And now we have 3 or 4. So it's a big change, but I honestly think it's a good change. And for us, like us as a program, like everybody has a voice. We don't want anybody to hide. If Madden or Emily or Savvy has something to say, like, we all would listen. So nobody should be hiding on our team. Like, we're all as one. We're one team. We stick together. We have each other's backs, and I think this year is going to be really fun, especially playing with the freshmen. I know they don't have a lot of college experience. Well, actually, 0. But I think it'll be really fun to teach them. Like, that's our job, me and Clara, as seniors that have been through this for the last 3 years, just to coach them up along with the coaches and just to encourage them to keep going and to never give up and to never get discouraged. So I think it'll be fun playing with them. The games are going to be a lot more energetic this year.
Sierra, and then Jordan.
All right, Clara, Coach said that before in post moves, you were doing moves that he taught you, but now the moves are yours. You're making them your own, becoming more comfortable. Are you feeling the game in a different way now that you've had time playing on the court against SEC competition? Are you feeling the game differently? Does it come to second nature to you?
Yeah, I mean, I think like we work on stuff like, especially like during the season, like every single day. So I think when you do it over and over again, and then like you do it out on the court live playing against people, I think that's when it's kind of puts your own twist on it, because it's more reading and reacting than just like copy and paste what he's doing. So I think that's kind of when you get your own twist on it, and yeah, I think that's like when the game comes to you. And then like, I think I've had moments where I've like tried, Coach says I've tried too hard in games, and that's kind of when I get all messed up. But I think when you do just let the game come to you and like you just rely on like the work you've put in, is like that's when you get your own flair, and like that's kind of how you get like where you're trying to go. So
we held her out spring workouts, precautionary reasons, just to get her some rest and heal her body up. So we didn't do anything all spring, and then they had the first part of the summer off, and then she got back, and the first couple of workouts she came back, you know, she was doing things I've never seen her do before, and she was doing them quicker, more natural, and so like I'm excited, you know, as a coach, but also as a fan, to watch her progression and watch what she's going to do this year. And you know, the one thing I can say to BBN is that, you know, there have been some great players here. Valerie Stills, you know, Ron Howard, Kayla Epps. You know, I think she's right in that company with them. So we're very fortunate to have her as a Wildcat, and I think what she's going to be able to do in the next couple years is really set some records. But y'all just not getting that. Yeah, okay. You know, set some records, but it just really, you know, just take this program to different levels because of her. Not only her ability, but now she's becoming a leader. And like one of the things I had to do last year is keep reminding myself that, you know, for a good portion of our season, she was 19. You know, then she turned 20. Gabby, which I think she considers one of her better friends, just had a monumental birthday. She was turned 21, and Clara couldn't go because she was only 20. You know, so you know, we still had to, you know, be cognizant of the fact that she is young. But now I'm looking forward to her taking on that leadership along with Asia. I'm looking forward to the way they're going to put their spin on it because they've seen great leadership. And I think, you know, last year, Clara had to really understand, like, she's a great player. We understand that. And sometimes she just couldn't understand why other people weren't doing what she was doing. Well, that's what makes you a great player, because you're different. And now she's got to learn how to relay that information to her teammates in a way that's not yelling at them, but in a way that they'll really look forward to following her. So I think both of these two, you know, they'll have great leadership qualities, and they'll be able to help the players throughout the year.
We'll go Jordan, Dick, and then if there's any closing questions, we'll finish up.
Jordan Adams, Fox 56 here in town. This one's for you, Coach. Just couldn't go a year without an Aussie on the roster. Your thoughts on bringing Gemma to the program, why that was important on and off the court, and when's the next time you plan on going down under?
Well, she's my favorite Amor. Okay, I've said that for years, and to know Gemma, you would know exactly what I'm talking about. If she was sitting right here, right now, she would speak to you guys for 5 minutes, and I promise you'll fall in love with her. You know, she just adapts to anything and everything, and that was the very first time I ever met her. She came over here. You know, I fell in love with her within the first 5 minutes. You know, she has a great wit to her. She works extremely hard. But the one thing I will tell you, she is Gemma. She's not Georgia, and I've made the mistake, and I called her Georgia, and I will not lie. There are times out of the corner of my eye, I kind of flinch. I'm like, what the hell's Georgia doing here? They look alike, they sound alike. Her accent's a little bit thicker than Georgia's, but the decision was, you know, we needed, you know, we wanted to fill our roster out. We wanted a little bit more experience in the backcourt. Somebody has some leadership qualities. How much will she play? I don't know. But I know she's going to make a tremendous impact on our program. She always had made a tremendous impact in our locker room. My wife is happy she's here. She loves her. But she's going to impact our team regardless of if she scores 1 point a game or if she scores 10 points a game, just because of her leadership qualities, but because she's a great person. She has a tremendous understanding of our programs. She's watched our program at Tech. She's watched our program here. She understands what we do. She probably knows our plays. We have a play called Spaghetti. And I remember the very first time Georgia called it out, Georgia didn't even know how to say spaghetti. And so I had a moment this year where I told her the play was spaghetti. And when she called it out, I was just like, I had a tear come to my eye. And I'm like, damn. I sent the film to Georgia, and Georgia said she's having FOMO, you know, watching the situation. But I think they will attest to say the same thing. She's going to make a huge impact on our team, whether it's in the locker room or on the floor.
For Asia, first of all, you need to get Craig Skinner up in that airplane. He'll do anything, it looks like.
Any coach but Coach Brooks.
I've seen a lot of great shooters here at Kentucky, both men and women, and the one thing they all have in common is they always know the next shot's going down. That's the level of confidence they have. How would you describe your level, and what was that like for you when you were inserted in the starting lineup last year? Because he needed that, and now you've got it from jump this year.
What's actually funny is that I'm still working on that. I'm still working on my confidence. that's honestly the one thing that I'm kind of lacking, and coach is always getting on me for it, because he's like, I have more confidence in you than you have confidence in yourself. And that really spoke to me when he said that to me, because I'm just like, dang, like, he's right. And he's not the one on the court, I am. So I've just been working on having more confidence in myself. And even when I'm having off games, like, I need to have that mentality of like, next one's going in, or else it's just kind of going to be a snowball of just missed shots. And I don't want that to happen for my team, because my team needs me. So I'm still working on that, and I'm getting better at it. So just continuing to take it day by day, to positively talk to myself, and surround myself with people, amazing people that I already have every day. Pick their brains on what I need to be getting better at confidence-wise, and how in games, like, I can't let that affect me.
Just a quick follow. Your shots, they're just rainbows. Have you always shot that way? Where did that arch come from?
I think I've always shot that way. Just my dad teaching me growing up. Right when I was born, I touched the ball. So, yeah, it's always been that way. Sometimes it's a little too high. And Coach Brooks is always telling me, you need to shoot it at the basket, not to the sky. So, yeah, I've always had that arch, but I'm still working on it, just critiquing my shot a little bit to make it perfect.
The way she came in last year is very impressive, because when you come from a conference not as powerful as the SEC, you wonder about the player, if it will translate. And from day one, she came in and she was very aggressive. She always looked for a shot, and we just piggybacked off of that, and we were like instilling confidence in her. I don't think I've ever told her not to shoot. It's like, okay, if you catch it and you're open, shoot it. Shoot it. And there were some games where she missed a couple shots, where she would, be a little bit more hesitant. But not only myself, every coach that we have, every player that we have, they know her capabilities, and they're, just encouraging her to shoot. If you're open, shoot it. If you don't shoot it, you turn down an open shot, that's selfishness. That's messing up my offense, And so I can't get you a better shot than a wide open three. And so I think that, coming here was very, very impressive. I think she made more three-pointers last year than she did previously in the Conference USA at Liberty. And I think it was a factor of that she came in, played with some great players, but the system really fit her, and she fit our system. So it was a great partnership.
Brad?
All right, this is for all of you as well. So have you guys I know you have individual workouts, but have you had team workouts at all?
Not yet. No. When we get them back, we want to make sure we see what they've done, how they look. We want to try to do it incrementally. We don't want to just jump into it and have full-fledged practices. We got all year. That's one of the things that I'm very conscious of, is to not burn them out. And we want to still make it, exciting when we do start playing. So incrementally, what we'll do, individuals where they have it all by themselves. This week we've stepped it up a little bit, where they've been doing group stuff. Next week we'll start implementing some of our philosophies, and we'll continue to do individuals, and then we'll get them out for a 2-week break when they go home, and then when they come back we'll really dive into the team stuff. But that's always been, our system is to get them here, work on some individual stuff, don't burn them out, because they've been doing stuff for a very long time. And both of them played high minutes last year, and as Clara said, she's not getting younger. They are getting older, and we want to take care of it and make sure that they're healthy and fresh when the time comes.
We'll end with Keith unless there's anything pressing.
Coach, you've had 2 single-season assist records the last couple of years. Do you have to have that in this offense, or?
No. It's just funny. I was watching our game last night against Louisville. We won, and it was, and I watched it, and we were very ball dominant with our point guard. Tony, we were getting the ball to Tony. Tony was gone. She was out and she was creating for others. I think this year it's going to be more about committee. I really do. I think that Madden is a tremendous point guard. Still learning, going to be learning on the fly. Diana Collins, I haven't said enough about her. We're so excited about her. She's what I call a grown woman. She's been through it all. And took her team last year to the second round of the NCAA tournament, and very, very very closely, hit a shot that could have taken them to the Sweet 16. So she's going to, bring a lot of stuff to us. Asia's had some experience at the point guard spot. Emily is a great passer. I'm trying to encourage this one to bring the ball to the floor and create for others. But I don't anticipate it happening, it getting broken this year. I think it's gonna be more by committee, which we're fine with, and we can do it. We can adapt to a lot of different things, but I'm looking forward to just the ability to share the basketball, because if we make one more pass, it's probably going to be for a great shot to a great shooter, and we're looking forward to that.
Awesome. Thank you all.